Welcome to Meaningful Activities to Generate Interesting Classrooms, Section 4, Part 3, Multiple Pathways of Learning. We are going to participate in multiple pathways of learning during this section. Each group will have 15 minutes to lead the class through the activity and debrief the class. Some activities may take longer than others. Let's find out what these activities are. As we have progressed through the course, you have experienced a variety of activities. As your instructor, he or she has facilitated most of these activities. Now it is your turn to facilitate activities for one another and lead the class through the activities instead of your instructor. Please go to Canvas Modules Section 4, Part 3, Multiple Pathways to Learning, for an overview of the 6 activities. You will also find an editable Google Slides presentation for your group to prepare for your demonstration. Please use the Google Slides presentation as appropriate for your activity. Please note, you and your group members should not just explain these activities. The goal is for you to practice facilitating activities and for your classmates to experience as much of the 6 activities as our remote learning environment allows. So please locate page 120, Facilitating Practice Activities, Multiple Pathways to Learning. As a group, read the directions for the practice activity your group is facilitating. Please skip number 3, as you will be suggesting the materials participants will use. Create an example that you can show the class when you facilitate your activity. Plan how you intend to facilitate this activity with the class and decide who in the group is responsible for what. Make sure all group members are involved. Review how to facilitate an activity on Appendix page 25. Remember that a good facilitator gives succinct and clear directions in order to maximize activity time. After facilitating the activity, debrief the activity by asking, what part of the activity supports multiple means of engagement, action, expression? How could you use this activity in your classroom? It should take no longer than 10 minutes to prepare to facilitate your activity and create an example. Please locate page 121. Create a sequence to find the original directions. We will adapt the activity directions to fit our remote learning environment. Please post your activity to Canvas Modules Section 4, Part 3, Create a Sequence. As a group, brainstorm a list of topics from your curriculum that involve a sequence and choose one topic to use for this activity, or use one of the following from this resource: Order of Planets, Holidays, The Scientific Method, Romeo and Juliet. Use the editable Google slide to type your items on individual slides. Each group should create a sequence by ordering the information they receive. Check the last slide for the correct answer. Then you will want to debrief the activity with your classmates. Vocabulary Triple Matchup. Please locate page 123, Vocabulary Triple Matchup, to find the original directions. We will adapt the activity directions to fit our remote learning environment. Please remember, you will want to post your activity to Canvas Modules, Section 4, Part 3, Vocabulary Triple Matchup. As a group, brainstorm a list of vocabulary words used in your curricula. You may also brainstorm vocabulary words from this course. Each person in the group chooses a word and makes 3 slides in the editable Google Slides presentation for that word as follows. Slide 1, you should type the word. Slide 2, type the definition of the word. Use your electronic device to access the definition if necessary. Slide 3, draw or insert a picture of the word. Place the slides out of order and see if a group can put the slides in the correct order. What's in the bag? Please locate page 125, What's in the Bag, to find the original directions. We will adapt the activity directions to fit our remote learning environment. Please remember to post your activity to Canvas Modules, Section 4, Part 3, What's in the Bag. Locate 3 different items from your belongings. Take a picture of the items or find a picture online. Using the editable Google Slides presentation, complete the following steps. Slide 1, your title slide. Slide 2, provide the 3 clues for the first item that provides a hint as to what the item is on the next slide. Read the clues and guess what is on the next slide. Slide 3, reveal the item. Slide 4, provide the 3 clues for the second item that provides a hint as to what the item is on the next slide. Read the clues and guess what is on the next slide. Slide 5, reveal the item. Slide 6, provide the 3 clues for the third item that provides a hint as to what the item is on the next slide. Read the clues and guess what is on the next slide. Slide 7, reveal the item. GeoCreature. Please locate page 127, GeoCreature, to find the original directions. We will adapt the activity directions to fit our remote learning environment. Please remember to post your activity to Canvas Modules, Section 4, Part 3, GeoCreature. Please remove the sheet of GeoCreature shapes from your course folder. You may also use Google Shapes to create your own animals as well. Create a real or fictitious GeoCreature using 4 or more of the shapes provided. Determine the habitat of your GeoCreature and color your creature to adapt to the chosen environment. Using the editable Google Slides presentation for your group, create an informational presentation for your GeoCreature. The name of your GeoCreature and the geometric shapes of which you are made. Where your GeoCreature lives and ways in which you adapt to your environment. What you eat and drink based on your habitat. And are you a predator or prey? Please share your group's PowerPoint with the class. It's in the Stars. Please locate page 129, It's in the Stars, to find the original directions. We will adapt the activity directions to fit our remote learning environment. Please remember to post your activity to Canvas Modules, Section 4, Part 3, It's in the Stars. Each group member should locate one 3D object from his or her belongings or write a content-related person, event, or topic in your group's Google Slides presentation. Work as a group and choose either a 3D object or card to be the topic of your constellation and myth. Design a constellation of stars that correspond to your object, person, event, or topic to illustrate your constellation. Write a brief myth about your constellation. Include the name of your constellation and what happened that caused the constellation to be placed in the sky. Read the examples shown and illustrated on the bottom of the page. As a group, present your myth. Survivor. Please locate page 131, Survivor, to find the original directions. Please remember to post your activity to Canvas, Modules, Section 4, Part 3, Survivor. Select one 3D object from your belongings. Your selection should be made prior to knowing what you will do with the object. You will also use the link to select one of those locations. Use your group's editable Google Slides presentation to prepare your story. Write a story about how you survived or escaped from the location using the 3D object you selected. Before you begin writing, brainstorm ideas and then choose one additional 3D object from your belongings to add to the story and assist your survival. Be prepared to read, tell, or act out your story as you explain how you survived or escaped the location using the two 3D objects you selected. Create a sequence. Please locate page 122, Classroom Connections, to debrief and record relevant ideas. How did this activity provide multiple means of engagement, action, or expression? Engagement. Could you develop whatever sequence you wanted? Action. Did you make the sequence slides? If we were face-to-face, we could add movement by having students move from one sequence to another instead of passing them. Expression. You could use different colors or fonts for your Google Slides. What topic in your curriculum could you use as a create a sequence activity? Sequence of states admitted to the Union? Order of the presidents? Steps in classroom procedures. Please take a moment to review the activity assets on page 122 to debrief this activity. Please locate page 124, Classroom Connections, to debrief and record relevant ideas for vocabulary triple matchup. How did this activity provide multiple means of engagement, action, or expression? Engagement. Were you allowed to develop whatever triple matchup vocabulary you wanted? Action. Were you able to make the slides, shuffle them, and find pictures? Expression. Could you draw a picture or find your own? What topic in your curriculum could you use as a triple matchup activity? Decimal, percent, fraction, name of rock, picture of rock, classification, picture of animal, habitat, predator or prey, novel character, character quotation, character event, beginning letter, picture of object, written word. Please take a moment to review the activity assets on page 124 to debrief this activity. Please also refer to additional activities, vocabulary, and spelling on appendix pages 23 through 24. Please locate page 126, Classroom Connections, to debrief and record relevant ideas for what's in the bag. How did this activity provide multiple means of engagement, action, or expression? Engagement. Were you allowed to choose whatever 3D object you wanted and write any clue? Action. Could you type the clues? Expression. Could you be creative when developing the clues and selecting your picture? What topic in your curriculum could you use as a what's in the bag activity? Types of rocks, musical instruments, historical artifacts, objects from a story. Please take a moment to review activity assets on page 126 to debrief the activity. Please locate page 128, Classroom Connections, to debrief and record relevant ideas for GeoCreature. How did this activity provide multiple means of engagement, action, or expression? Engagement. Were you allowed to choose any shapes and color them any way you chose? Action. If you used the paper in your course folder, could GeoCreature be hands-on? Expression. Could you design and color the GeoCreature, naming and describing it, and creating the display? What topics in your curriculum could you use as a GeoCreature activity? A geo favorite animal? A geo symbol that represents an event? A geo novel character or geo historical feature? A geo robot? A diary entry for the GeoCreature as students move through the unit. Please take a moment to review activity assets on page 128 to debrief the activity. Please locate page 130, Classroom Connections, to debrief and record relevant ideas for It's in the Stars. How did this activity provide multiple means of engagement, action, or expression? Engagement. Were you allowed to choose whatever 3D object, person, event, or topic that interested you? Action. Creating and illustrating the constellation. Presenting your myth. Expression. Creating the myth and presenting the constellation and myth. What topic in your curriculum could you use as an It's in the Stars activity? A biographical constellation and myth as an interpersonal activity? Constellations and myths for historical figures, scientists, or characters in a novel? A constellation and myth for someone they admire? Please take a moment to review activity assets on page 130 to debrief the activity. Please locate page 132, Classroom Connections, to debrief and record relevant ideas for Survivor. How did this activity provide multiple means of engagement, action, or expression? Engagement. Were you allowed to choose whatever 3D objects you wanted? Action. Could your group act out the story? Expression. Were creativity and innovation used when using the objects to survive and create the story? What topic in your curriculum could you use as a survivor activity? Could students survive in a certain time period or civilization? In a scene from a novel you are reading? Could students survive based on certain weather events or climate change? Or during a particular historical event? Please take a moment to review the activity assets for this activity. Please refer to other movement and hands-on activities in the appendix. Forecasting the Weather, appendix pages 17 to 19. Ethan Allen, Can It Be Done, appendix pages 20 to 22. Remember, these activities show how easy it can be to add choice, hands-on movement and creativity to your activities. Providing students with an opportunity to learn in more than one way makes practice more engaging and interesting. Activities with multiple pathways for learning transform students into active and motivated learners. This concludes Section 4, Part 3, Multiple Pathways to Learning. Please continue to Module Section 4, Part 3, Positioning Activities, Practice, Classroom and Reflection Connections.